Good morning, sixth grader. I want to maximize our time today in class. And there's one big thing I've been thinking about, but haven't had a chance to really talk to you about. And that is your writing about reading, especially when you write about your reading for homework. That means your jots, your independent reading jots. I'm going to be walking you through some ways to make those even better. I've been really happy to see that a lot of people are doing it consistently. If you haven't, this is a friendly reminder to start doing it. And if you have, this is a chance for you to self-assess and to lift the level. So right now, open up your most recent jot. It's probably going to be on Google Keeps. Maybe it's in your reading log itself. Maybe it's on a document somewhere else. And if it is, you got to put it in your reading log. Pause the video, get that on your screen, get it in front of you, and then resume when you're ready. Okay, so what I want to remind you is that when you want to lift the level of your jot, you need to be thinking pretty strategically. There are two major ways to lift the level of a jot or to make it the best it can be. And that is to use what you know from your reading level skills, or your unit skills. So whenever you're writing about reading, you should be applying stuff, right, that you've been learning this year, either your reading level or your unit. Okay, so since we're in a nonfiction unit, it probably makes the most sense for you to think about reading level skills because those always can apply. So think about what your reading level is for a moment. And keep in mind that we have a friendly, awesome tool on Google Classroom that's also attached to this warm up. And those are our bands of text complexity cards. You've probably seen this before. I uploaded this with your reading log for the week. This has been in every Padlet I've given you for reading. And it's also in Google Classroom under the reading category. So if you want to use it in the future, it's there. You can definitely find it. Okay, so your jot is on your screen and you're now looking at this with me. And you probably at this point want to click it in the assignment for the warm-up and have your own copy available. So you want to be able to see evidence of your reading level in your jot. Let's say that I'm reading at level V. I will find the band that has my letter V. If you're reading at level S, you'd find RST because there's the S, right? So that means that whenever I write about reading, there should be at least one of these skills in my writing about reading. So if I look at this jot that I made about Harry Potter, the book I was reading last night, the one I jotted about, I should see at least one of these skills here. Look at this with me. Let's just see first, what did I do? And does it fit with what I'm supposed to do? In the chapter, The Keeper of the Keys, Hagrid shows up at the Dursleys' house. He's a really big man with a shaggy mane of hair and a wild, tangled beard. Page 46. Ooh, okay, so I am quoting the text. That's probably going to be a really important thing, right? Let's keep going. What am I really doing as a reader? He's known Harry his whole life and is surprised, more like angry, to find out that Harry has no idea that he's a wizard. Hagrid yells at the Dursleys and calls them out on never telling Harry the truth about how his parents died. He tells them about how he tells him about how Voldemort killed them using dark magic. He feels weird about telling him, but knows he has to before he goes to Hogwarts, which is where Hagrid will take him next. Okay, I had some great stuff going on. I had a really clear summary of the chapter I read from Harry Potter. I had a text detail that comes from the chapter to show you more about what's in it. I tell you about some of the characters. I have some of the events. Let's just see if those things are actually on my band of text complexity card, if those are actually things that match up with my level. Discuss the narrator and how the point of view affects the story. I didn't talk about the narrator. I didn't talk about who's telling the story at all. Okay, setting. I said that he shows up at the Dursleys' house. Okay, but I didn't say the importance of the setting. I didn't say anything about how the setting, how the mood the setting creates. I didn't say any of that. Okay, so I mention it, so it's clear that I know what a setting is, but I don't say anything on my level about it. Identify some of the techniques that the author uses in the story and why they might have used them. Oh, I gave a description, shaggy mane of hair and wild tangled beard, but I didn't say anything about why the author uses that and why it might be used or why it's important. Okay. Discuss repeating images or objects. Oh no, I'm realizing that there is an important object in this chapter. The letter from Hogwarts, I don't even mention it. Consider issues in your book and how characters face them. Discuss the ideas on how these issues are portrayed. I mentioned that his parents died. I didn't really say anything else. You're probably getting the gist here, right? That, yeah, it's clear that I know of these things that are on my level, but I didn't actually apply any of the work that's actually my level. The thing is if I was going to measure this up, it would actually be more like an NOPQ, which is not just one grade level below it, but two. This would be 2 full bands below where I actually am as a reader. And it doesn't matter where you are, it just matters that you are performing every day consistently on your level, not below it. So I should definitely not be having a job that reflects this. I need to take it up a level. So how do I do that? Well, I probably will want to pick something to focus on. Maybe something that I saw a little bit of evidence. I think that, well, I'm seeing like I could have talked about the repeating object, so I could just make a whole new jot and do that. I could talk about the setting. I don't know how important the Dursley's house is in this chapter. Craft moves. I could talk about what, how this describes Hagrid and why it's important. I feel like if I'm going to talk about Hagrid, it should probably be more about like maybe his relationship to Harry. Is that something? Oh, think about the relationships between the minor characters and the main character, the lessons they help each other learn. I don't know the lesson yet, but I think I could start talking about this. For instance, I could go back and say how in this chapter, Hagrid shows up and he hasn't seen Harry since he was a baby. He comes in, he gets so angry. Maybe I can dig deeper into like the way that he acts, because I know from level NOPQ or RST that when characters, like we learn from watching characters behave, how they, what they say, they do, they think, they feel. He's yelling, he's protective of Harry here. He said things in the chapter, maybe I need to go find some details. He is yelling about how Harry's never known who he really is. Then he tells him, he says, Harry looked back at Hagrid, smiling, and saw that Hagrid was positively beaming at him. So he's looking at him, he's feeling proud. Oh, this is making me think that not only is this like an important moment because they're being reunited for the first time since Harry was a baby, but it's also the first time in the book where one of the other characters is positive toward him, is kind, is excited. So this makes me think, so maybe like what they learn, this makes me think that Hagrid is going to maybe show him what kindness really looks like, or maybe Hagrid's going to teach him what it really means to be, to care about people or to be in a family. Because right now I've only really learned about how the Dursleys treat him so poorly. Do you see what I'm doing here? I am finding something that I found something that I could have done more of, that starting to, or that makes sense in the job that I gave a go with. And then I really applied myself here by going off of this, but letting myself go back to the text think deeper, think bigger. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to fully answer this, and I was like, that's okay, but I could come up with some ideas so far. So, but the real thing I'm really trying to show you, friends, is that at this point in your reading careers, no matter what level you are, UVW, NOPQ, KLM, XYZ, doesn't matter at all. No one should be summarizing for their jobs. You already know how to do it. I know you know how to do it. I need to see the higher level thinking work that matches where you are as a reader. So right now, do what I did, but for your jot and your level. Think, am I doing these things? What could I do more of, or what could I start doing now? Make a revision, and then I want you to copy and paste the revision right there on your warm up so that I can see it and also see it reflected back in your Google Keep or wherever it's been living. Okay, I can't wait to see what you do. And I hope that you take this practice into your own jots, not just today, but every day. It's going to make a huge difference and help you to grow faster. Good luck. Talk to you soon.